Today we'll be working on the area between two shapes. This addresses Standard 7, GB 5. So example 1 says, what is the area of the shaded region? So it's talking about the blue part of this triangle. So what we have to do here is find the area of the blue part of the triangle and then the area of the white part of the triangle and subtract the two. So our formula for area of a triangle is A equals a half times base times height. Okay, so again, we're starting with that blue triangle, so we're going to have a half times the base of the blue one is 15, and the height of the blue one is also 15. So you'll do a half times 15 times 15, which is 112.5. Then we've got to do the triangle that is white. So a half times the base of that one is 10 and the height is 10, which gives us 50. Then you will subtract 112.5 minus 50, which leaves us with 62.5 millimeters squared. Okay, in example 2, we have circles. We are talking about the area of a circle. So it's been a while since we've talked about that, so you're going to have to think back to your formula for area of a circle, which is A equals pi times the radius squared. So it tells us that both circles have the same center, and we're finding the area of the shaded, which is the blue in this case. So we're going to start out with the blue. So to find the area of that blue circle, we're going to do pi. And then we have to find the radius of the blue circle. So remember that the radius of the blue circle means halfway through the blue, which is the blue and the white in this case. So if this is 10, we need to know what just this part is. So we can see that the diameter of the white circle is 10, which makes the radius of it 5. So 10 and 5 would be 15 for the radius of the blue one. So 3.14 times 15 squared, or you can do 15 times 15, is 706.5. Then we have to find the white circle in order to subtract. So 3.14 times the radius of the white circle. Okay, so if the diameter is 10, the radius is 5, so that is 5 squared. So 3.14 times 5 squared is 78.5. So to find how much of it was blue after you take out the area of the white, you're going to subtract 706.5 minus 78.5. which leaves you 628. And that is 628 feet squared. Go ahead and pause your video and find the area of the shaded region, which in this case is the green. So you're going to find the area of the green square, the area of the white square, and then subtract. So our green square is 19 by 19. So we would do 19 times 19 to find the area. So 19 times 19 is 361. And then the white one is going to be 6 by 6, which is 36. And then we would subtract those, which would give us 325 yards squared. Okay, pause your video and try example 4. So the yellow square, we're going to do 14 by 12. So 14 times 12 equals 168. And then our white square is 6 by 7, which is 42. So we would subtract 168 minus 42, which leaves us 126 inches squared. Okay, I want you to pause your video, use your formula for area of a circle to find the shaded region, the area of the shaded region. So we're going to start with our big circle. So we're doing A equals pi r squared. That's our formula for area of a circle. So 3.14 multiplied by the radius of the big circle. So the radius of the big circle is going to be this distance. So we know that this part is 6. And if the diameter of the white circle is 8, then that means the radius of it, which would be just this part, is 4. So that means a total of 10 for the radius of the shaded circle. So 3.14 times 10 squared, or 10 times 10, is 314. Now we need to find the area of the white circle so that we can subtract the two. So 3.14 times the radius of the white circle. So that's just this distance. So it tells us the diameter is 8, then that means the radius is 4. So 4 squared. So 3.14 times 4 squared, or 4 times 4, is 50.24. And then we would subtract those, which would leave us with 263.76 miles squared. Okay, pause your video and try example 6. So we use our formula for area of a triangle, which is a half times the base. So we're starting with that bigger triangle, so I'm going to use 13 as my base. So 13 times the height, which is 15. So a half times 13 times 15 equals 97.5. Then I'm going to do the same for the white triangle. So a half times the base of this one is 9 by 11. So a half times 9 times 11 equals 49.5. And again, I will subtract those two, which leaves me with 48, and that is 48 meters squared. Pause your video and try example 7. So I'm going to start out with my green triangle, my biggest triangle. So a half times the base. I'm going to use 27.4, although it doesn't really matter which order you put those in since you're multiplying. Times the height, which is 38.8. Be very careful entering all that into the calculator. So 27.4, 38.8 times a half gives you 531.56. And then we have to do the same for the smaller white triangle there. So a half times the base of it is 15.9 times the height, which is 22.6. Again, be very careful entering all of that. So 15.9 times a half times 22.6 is 179.67. And we'll subtract those, which leaves you with 351.89 millimeters squared. Pause your video and try example 8. So for the area of the green square, we're going to do 37, I'm sorry, it's not a square, rectangle, 37.4 times 34.7. Be very careful entering that because that's confusing. 34.7, 37.4 is 1,297.78. And then the white rectangle, we're going to do 12.3 multiplied by 22.5. Which gives you 276.75. Again, we will subtract, which leaves you with 1,021.03 kilometers squared. Okay, go ahead and pause your video and try example 9. You will, once you get to your final answer, round that answer to the nearest hundredth. So for area of a circle, we're doing A equals pi r squared. So pi is going to be 3.14 times the radius of the yellow circle. So we can see that this is 12.8 and it tells us the radius is 9.5. So this is 9.5. So to find the radius of the big circle, we're going to have to add 12.8 and 9.5, which gives us 22.3 for the radius. And it is the radius squared. So 3.14 times 22.3 squared, or you can do 22.3 times 22.3. That gives us 1,561.4906. Now we'll need to do the white circle, so that is 3.14. It told us here that the radius of the white one was 9.5 squared, or 9.5 times 9.5. Which gives us 283.385. And then, of course, as usual, we're going to need to subtract those. Which leaves us with 1,278.1056. However, our answer tells us to round to the nearest hundredth, so we have our tenths, and then our hundredths is the 0. So does the 5 make the 0 stay a 0 or go to a 1? It would round up to a 1. So 1,278.11 inches squared. Okay, this will be our last question, so go ahead and solve example 10. So we're going to do a half times the base of the blue triangle first, so 27.9, times the height of it, which is 28.6. So a half times 27.9 times 28.6 gives us 398.97. Then we'll need to do the same for the white triangle, so a half times the base of 16.5 times the height of 20.3. So a half times 16.5 times 20.3 gives us 167.475. And then we'll subtract those, which leaves us 231.495, and that is yards squared. That completes today's lesson. You will complete your assessment on forms area between two shapes.